It's service time, and I've decided to change my oil to a different brand entirely. Let's get into it. Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. So very warm outside, so I thought I'd come into the shade after a nice little ride out. Anyway, when I got back home, this was waiting on my doorstep. Yeah, brand new oil, 2050 grade V Twin Oil from Westway Lubricants here in the UK. It's supposed to be perfectly fine for Harley Davidsons. But it's cheap. It's very cheap. In fact, it's about half the price of any other oil. This is 5 litres. I think I paid £31 and change. The equivalent, you're talking 60 odd pounds, something like that. But is it any good? And should I really be putting it in my motorcycle? And should I put it in the engine, transmission and primary? Well, let's find out. Now this time I've also changed my oil filter as well. I've gone for one of these high flow oil filters. This is for the M8 engine and for the Sport Glide. Now, why have I gone for this? Not necessarily because it's cheaper, because I've used high flow filters before. They're perfectly fine. And also, I thought, well, why not? Let's try something different. So this one is ready to rock and roll, but it's also got the hex fitting on the front there, so it'll be easier to put on and take off, hopefully. And those of you who are interested, that is the model number for this one. Right. Also went to the local dealership and got 4 new spark plugs. They're ready to be put in as well. Bit interesting on the packaging. Very bland, very, well, it's almost like I'm ordering food from a health shop, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. But anyway, as long as they fit, as long as they work, that's all that matters. And again, there you go, there's the part number. Those are official ones. Those are the official Harley Davidson ones. Not the Screaming Eagle ones, just the standard. And last but not least, I can't forget the O-rings for my drain plugs. Right then, this Westway oil, is it any good? And the truth is, I don't know. I've done some research online. There is some question about, is it fully synthetic? Because it says it's a fully synthetic oil. Now, Syn 3 is supposed to be a synthetic oil, but it's not fully synthetic because it's, I believe it's 60% synthetic and 40% mineral. But they don't give you, on any of the Harley Davidson oils, any grading, any categories according to the API or according to the JSO. What are those, I hear you ask? Okay, so oil comes in categories and is also tested to certain specifications. So with the API, that's the American Petroleum Institute grading. And then you've got the JSO, which is the Japanese Engine Oil Standards. So on here, it gives you exactly what the standard is. And it tells you, whereas Harley Davidson don't tell you. So this has got an API of SLSM. And it's also got a JSO rating of MA and MA2. Okay, so there are 2 websites that you really want to look at if you're really interested in this. And that's API.org, which is the American Petroleum Institute website. And you've also got another really good website, which is called oilspecifications.org. Okay, so this Westway oil is SLSM. So that means it is current. It's a current oil. In other words, it's current in its application. And it's definitely good for 2010 and older engines. That's for SM. SL is 2004 and before V-twin engines. And SN, Sierra November, is for 2020 and before engines. And then you've got SP, which is current, and it's basically right now. Anything that is right now and before. So whilst this is an older bike, it still operates under the same premise of an earlier bike, in that an SM or an SL grading. Therefore, this oil would be perfect for this engine. Okay, what about the JSO rating? So the JSO MA rating is an MA grade of oil that is suitable for 4-stroke engines, and it's the same oil that you could use for the oil, transmission, clutch, so on and so forth. Which essentially is what we could do with a Harley Davidson, especially if you're using a Syn 3 oil, which you can put in all 3 holes. Also, just like a very popular brand like Amsoil. The JSO MA range is also subdivided into 2 ranges. It's MA1 and MA2. Essentially, the MA2 is the best quality oil that you can get. So therefore, the Westway oil is perfect for this motorcycle. and it's a high quality oil, and it's fully synthetic. But there have been some questions to see how fully synthetic it is. I would say if it's not 100%, and that I don't know the answer, but it could be a similar kind of thing where it's saying that it's a synthetic oil, just like Syn 3 is 60-40, but as this is fully synthetic, I would imagine it is fully synthetic, but I could be wrong. So the question is, why am I putting this in my Harley? Well, there's a number of reasons. First of all, I plan to do 2 oil changes back to back quite quickly in the next few months. I'm going to do one this week, and that's going to see me through to the end of summer and into autumn. Then I'm going to do another oil change, just an engine oil change this time, around about November, December, to see how this operates during the winter. And it comes down to a budget, really. I wanted to see if this is a good oil, if it does what it says on the tin in terms of its grading, and how will it react in warmer temperatures and also in colder temperatures. So really, it's part budget, it's part testing a new oil, it's part finding an oil here from the UK to see if it works well in Harley Davidsons, and also on the label it seems to meet all the specs that are required on the bike. So yeah. One final thing is that if you watch my videos, watch my channel, I'm always talking about the Harley Davidson and the noises that emanate from the engine. I've still got this sort of ticking, this heavy ticking sound from the engine, the top of the engine. And lots of people always say, change your oil, change your oil. And I say, yeah, that's right, change your oil, see what happens. So part of changing to this with a higher specification, and it's a fully synthetic, is to see how it will affect that engine noise as well. So for now, all I can say is I'm going to give this a go. This is Westway V Twin 2050 fully synthetic oil. I've got a high flow oil filter to put into my bike, and this is HF171B RC black. And I got the standard spark plugs and O-rings, which is just the standard stuff I do every couple of years. So I have no idea if this engine oil is going to be any better or any worse. But until you try it out, you don't really know, do you? And that also, what I'm looking for is to do a quick engine oil change. So it comes down to budget, and also it's a good way just to test an oil that has been unproven, let's say, in my eyes, and to see how it works. We'll see, we'll see. Oil is oil. As long as it's the right weight, it's not really going to change that much. But because I'm doing a quick oil change soon afterwards, I can see if there's any kind of short-term damage being caused. I doubt there will be, but you never know. Right, there you go. A budget engine oil for your Harley Davidson, for your V-Twin, a 2050 grade. It meets all the specifications, API, JSO. I have no idea whether it works. I'm not being paid for them. I bought this myself. This is not promotion. This is purely an information video to see actually if it's any good or if it will be any good. So in subsequent videos, I'll let you know what I think of it, and we'll go from there. Right, but for now, Westway Oils. You can get these off eBay, or you can go direct to westwayoils.co.uk, I believe, and order it direct from them. Actually, it's cheaper direct from them than it is from eBay. I think it's another £1 extra on eBay, but I suppose they have to pay the eBay fees. Also, one final thing about the company themselves. Super quick delivery. I ordered it the day before, and this arrived obviously today, so very quick turnaround, no issues at all. I will say that I did try to call them to ask a question, and they never returned my call, so maybe that customer service point is failing there on that side. But in terms of delivery, in terms of cost, in terms of availability, top notch, top notch. Right, let's just see if it's any good. Catch you again. Ta-da.